MRW, up or down, balls up, balls down, POD.
Which side is the sun, man? Are we serving?
Wait, the tray is up.
Spin the racket.
Welcome back to Spin the Racket, the recreational tennis pod, covering everything from the Pro Tour to the everyday league player. I'm your boy G.
And I'm Lou.
Today we're joined by Annabelle Thomas. She's a former college player and one of the faces of INTENNSE. She took home the Impact Player Award in Season 1, and she decided to return to Season 2. Annabelle, welcome to the pod.
Thank you, guys. I'm excited to talk to you.
Yeah. We're excited to have you on here. I know. Obviously INTENNSE is something that we're excited to participate in. We were able to go to some games last season, excited for Season 2 here, but we definitely want to dig into your journey and background and all the fun stuff. But before we get into that, our number one question we always ask every guest, would you rather have no forehand or no serve?
Oh, I think I would say no serve. I mean, my forehand is my weapon, so
Yeah.
I always want to be lasering forehand winners. So I would definitely take out the serve.
That's fair.
Dude, that's two in a row. I think we've got Annabelle, and our previous guest also said forehand.
Forehands are in the lead then.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been we don't keep count, right? G? No, there's no. We'd have to go back and keep count across the episodes, but that'd be too much work.
Well, they
but
always
I
say
feel
with
like
intense serve bots stay away. So the one serve rule, maybe if you love your serve, you're not going to love it so much anymore.
That's a good point.
that's right. Yeah, I mean, I've got the height, but I've never been a serve bot, so I will always say I'll take my forehand over the serve. I don't know, just my 2 cents there. But so walk us through a little bit through your tennis background and all the way up to INTENNSE. Like what got you there?
Yeah, so I came to college in 2020. I signed at the University of North Florida, which is a D1 school here in Jacksonville, Florida, where I live right now. And I mean, that was really a dream come true for me because when I was a junior, I didn't really have the traditional tennis upbringing where you're traveling the world playing ITFs. I went to regular school. I played over 10 different sports throughout like my teenage years. And then it just so happened that my last couple years of high school, I was like, tennis is what I really want to focus on, and going to college was my dream. So UNF was the perfect fit for me, and I loved it. I played 4 years there and got my undergrad degree there. But then my senior year at UNF, I actually broke my wrist right at the start of the season. So it was a little devastating because I'd gone from being a freshman outside of the lineup and then getting on the team at the end of my freshman year and just building all the way up to that number one spot.
Yeah.
And it kind of felt like everything had fallen apart.
Wow. That's wild.
Yeah, it was my dream to keep playing pro after college. So being a senior in my last semester, this was a really stressful time. But I was still able to train. Luckily, it was my left wrist, so I could still hit plenty of forehands. Maybe that's why my forehand got a lot better.
That's
But
fair.
yeah, I could still train with the team, support them. And then that was when I decided, hey, what's next for me? I had the opportunity to start a master's program, which I would have never thought looking back when I was 17, 18.
Yeah.
And I knew that I wanted to do it in psychology because I've always been really interested in the mental side of the sport, not just forehands and backhands, but what does it take to be at the top? So I started looking around at different schools and I started talking to the Clemson coaches, and it was just a perfect fit in terms of academics and just stepping up to that next level. So that whole year was amazing. I really miss it. I mean, this time last year we were competing to try and get back on the NCAA tournament, and it was a tough road, but we made it for like the first time in 8 years. So
Wow. That's
I'm
amazing.
really proud to be part of that team. And then after Clemson, it was straight into INTENNSE. So it's been a really cool journey from going directly from college into something that's so new and being able to be supported in
For sure.
college
Yeah.
playing. Yeah.
No, I love that. Like, can we rewind back to you said you started college in 2020 and like
Mhm.
had this like reaction of like, oh, like I don't know, remember here 2020, it's just like everyone
Oh.
flashes back to like COVID. Like what was that like walking into that atmosphere into college when, the whole world was changing around you?
Yeah, it was so strange. I mean, I would fly over from England, and there would be 20 people on the plane coming over to the US, and
Crazy.
definitely that first fall was strange being a student athlete on campus.
Hmm.
I mean, UNF doesn't have the biggest student population, but at the same time, it was completely deserted.
Yeah.
But honestly, I actually focused a lot more on building the relationships with my team and also just developing on the court and getting good grades. So I guess it was a more chill introduction than most typical college students have.
Give you some clarity. Nice.
Exactly. I mean, nobody really knew what was happening, so we all had to just figure it out as we went along. And yeah, I was definitely grateful for the spring when we were able to start traveling, competing again because
Yeah,
nobody knew what the future was going to hold.
for sure. Yeah, I mean, tennis, I mean, there's definitely very few sports that are great for like social distancing as tennis is, and like naturally are going to be on the opposite sides of the court anyway. So that worked out, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm grateful that we were a team that were training outside anyways, because some of my friends had these horror stories of them playing in hot domes and they're wearing masks and all
Oh,
this kind of
oh,
stuff. So I was grateful that we could just train as normal, even though the rest of life looked a little strange.
absolutely. No, I was just say, I know you mentioned the wrist injury. How did that happen? Like, was it playing tennis, something else, freak accident?
Yeah, we were just practicing some doubles, and I mean, I'm pretty energetic when I'm on the court, and there was some crazy ball going over my head, and I was refusing to let it bounce. I had to hit an overhead on this ball. But the courts were a little slick, and I basically just stacked it and landed on my wrist. And at the start, I just thought, okay, whatever, this is fine. It's probably just sore, right? So
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
played a few matches with it. And then by the third singles match I was playing, the girl clocked that clearly my backhand was compromised,
Mm.
and I just took an absolute beating in the third set, and after that, I knew, "Okay, something's wrong here. I need
Hmm.
to get this checked out." So, yeah,
Jeez.
I mean, it was a tough time to have an injury, but, I mean, I'd been through that before. When I was 16, I broke my leg.
Mm.
Same thing on the tennis court. I'm a little cursed here, but so going through that injury and rehab process definitely gave me confidence to know that I could come back from the wrist injury,
Mhm.
which I did pretty fast in span of a few months.
That's great. Wow. All I'm hearing is like you're like the ultimate competitor. Like you're breaking limbs on tennis courts and then still like competing and coming back.
I'm definitely super competitive, so if there's an obstacle, I'm not gonna let it stand in my way.
I love it.
That's yeah, that's the energy. I can appreciate that. Like it could be a little bit self-destructive. I've done the
Mhm.
same thing where it's like, oh, you go for a ball and you like have no regard for anything else but the ball, and you almost hit like the net post and stuff like that, and it's like, oh shoot, like your life flashes before your eyes, like, oh yeah,
You're just putting your
that that
body on the
that that could have
line.
gone that could have gone another way. But thankfully, I think there is an important piece there. I know you mentioned, going into the psychology of the sport, and I'm familiar with the confidence that comes from doing something once before, right?
No, I mean, I knew that getting a master's in psychology was something that I wanted to go into, because really, like, you look back on your college career and nobody has a straight line where they're just having, like, an upward trajectory from, like, A to B. It's always gonna be up and down, up and down. So, in the degree that I did, I was able to do a thesis project, and I was studying, mindfulness, and mental training among athletes and the positive impacts that can have for performance and health and well-being. So it's been really cool now to use that to learn not only about myself, but about my team at Clemson when I was captaining the team and helping all the freshmen that we had to figure it out along the way. And then also with Intense, because they're not only focused on you as a player, they're focused on, okay, what is this person like off the court? What skills do they have? And they've allowed me to use the skills that I've built in my degree and studies and playing career, help them with different partnerships, and helping with sports psychology with the other players and various things like that I'm passionate about. And even talking on this podcast, right? So just being able to like share your story and about yourself, and it's not just like, okay, what ranking are you as a player? So
Yeah, just a number.
Mhm.
Now, obviously, you've shared the journey through the college career, the difficulties, the challenges with COVID, the challenge with the broken wrist in the senior year. How did this intense season one come about? Like, what? How do you connect the dots here?
Yeah, I knew a few people who were involved in the league, and I started talking to them right at the start of last year. And I found out about this intense league, and I thought, okay, let me find out more about this. This sounds really cool. You know, you're a fifth year in college, you're preparing to go on the tour, but you're not really sure what that entails. I don't have a whole bunch of disposable income where I can just travel the world. So as soon as I started finding out about this league and that I would be part of a team, I was like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna do whatever it takes to be part of that. And I mean, it was still quite a long selection process, especially for season one. You know, there wasn't a big player pool. There was like 20 players who were playing week in, week out throughout the summer. So yeah, it was really just getting to know the people who were part of the league, and being enthusiastic was a key thing.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, well, can you talk a little about that process in terms of them selecting you and how that works? Like, I guess I'm picturing like I don't know, almost kind of like how the folks do like the college process, where you're like submitting videos of you hitting like forehands and backhands and stuff, or maybe you're
Yeah,
like
exactly.
in
It was really similar to that. It's almost like going for a job interview, except
yeah,
you know, you're talking about your tennis level and what you bring as a person, and um, so yeah, there was an interview process, a video process, um, but because last season we were connected to the cities, in Jacksonville, Florida was already my base and my home and where I'd been brought up in college and where I have coaching connections here. So it was perfect for me to link straight into that team, really.
hmm that's awesome.
Do you think the traditional path, like going college and then trying to go pro, and then like I mean, let's be honest, statistically not working out for the majority of people. You think that's broken for most players?
Oh yeah, 100%. I think if you're a top ITF junior and you're making junior slams and you're winning pro events, and even if you still go to college when you're at that level and you're competing throughout college on the tour, when you get to the end of college, player base is just huge. I mean, not only on the women's side, even more so on the men's side. And I think it's impressive that players choose to pursue that path because it's just so unknown and so unpredictable. But at the same time, I don't think players need to be sacrificing so much about their life and their finances and their health and stress and everything like that just to try and achieve the dream of making some sort of ranking. So, I mean, you look at the other traditional sports, players know that if they train hard and they get to a certain level, they can do it as a career. Whereas sports like tennis, you get to that level and you're just thrown in the deep end. So it's been so nice to be involved with Intense, where I know that I can still be part of the sport and it not just all fall on my shoulders.
For sure. And could you, so obviously we had JY on the pod, as we talked about before. For our listeners who didn't hear that episode and are unfamiliar with Intense, could you give kind of the 30-second elevator pitch or dinner party answer to what is Intense?
Yeah, of course. So Intense is a team tennis league where you have 3 men and 3 women on each team competing together. And it's different from traditional tennis because we play in a time-based format. So people know, okay, the match is going to start at this time, it's going to end at this time, playing in what we call bolts of 10 minutes, singles, doubles, mixed doubles. And then it's fast pace. You get one serve, one toss. Winners are worth 2 points. And it's in an arena. So it's unlike any other backcourt ITF tennis experience that you might have. So basically, I think it's the future of tennis. It's not going to replace the traditional tours, but it's definitely a very strong option for
Yeah,
players of my age.
For sure, for sure. And just as a fan attending the event too, I just thought it was pretty unique in terms of, oftentimes with tennis it's quiet, right? During points, you're kind of sitting there waiting to like erupt with applause, and intense. You're like the whole time you're yelling out. People are like using noisemakers, and they're doing everything they can to be engaged. And I thought that was so cool how they brought the fans into the matches with you.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they say that it's for the fans and the company is for the sport. So it's strange. You think back to college, everybody is so rowdy after
Right.
the point and before and after. But
Uh-huh.
then during, there's this strange etiquette where you have to be quiet and very respectful. Or if you're a family and you're taking your kid to go and watch a college match or a grand slam,
Yeah.
and you just have to sit there in silence. Like, think of
Yeah.
another sport where you go and watch and you just have to be so quiet.
Right. Yeah.
And it was so cool to build connections with the fans who were coming back, like, week by week to the arena, because they were just loving it, and they got to know us, and we got to know them, and,
That's
I
pretty
mean,
cool.
that's what it's all about, right?
Yeah. No, it is.
Yeah, golf is like that too.
True,
But
that's a
even
good example.
Yeah, but even golf is doing different things now, especially with the like Saudi Arabia League and all that. Like they're trying to make it a lot more dynamic, right, than the
Yeah.
traditional golf situation. But that's a sport that it's another beast to like try to enjoy from a like spectator's perspective, right? It's
Mhm.
tough.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, don't get me wrong, it can still be professional, but at the end of the day, if it's fun and it's fast and it's gonna engage the fans, then that's what's gonna be successful in the long run. It's,
yeah.
it was interesting though with the noisemakers, G, when you brought that up, because
Yeah.
there was a few moments where we had some rowdy Atlanta fans who were ringing the noisemakers.
Oh, okay.
And I know that my coach, Claudio, who was the Team Jacksonville coach, was
Mhm.
glaring up at them, and we were having some trash talking back and forth. So
Oh, nice.
there
All
was
right.
definitely some rivalries, not even just player to player, but literally player to fan.
Right. Yeah. A little tension there. I like
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
you got like that season pass holder that's like they're gonna sit in that one chair and say the one thing. That's great. I
Yeah.
like
And they're
that.
like,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
from the rules, so I'm good. And it's like,
Yeah. There was some gray areas was what could and not be said, but on the whole, I think,
yeah.
people were pretty respectful, but they made it fun at the same time.
Yeah.
That's cool. That
That's fun.
takes me back to like my like baseball days growing up, and when I was a kid, it got like that. So
Mhm.
I could
There's
see.
a
I've
thin
never been
line,
to an
and
intense
it can
match.
be gross.
I've never
Yeah.
been, unfortunately. But I think I caught onto it like too late, and I think you guys were already done. And I was like, the one time that GU went, I think I was out of town. So
Oh, well, you
I'm
guys will
very much looking
nice.
forward to season 2.
Oh, yeah,
I
it's
might
gonna
be
be a
there.
bigger arena, yet to be, disclosed, but, yeah, it's definitely gonna be fan friendly, and it's gonna be all throughout June and July with the grand finale right at the start of August. Gives people plenty of time to, come and watch, and hopefully we pick up, some routine fans at the start of the season who wanna come back every time.
Yeah,
That's
it's
awesome.
been the Racket's already fans of Intense, so
Oh, yeah.
we'll definitely be attending this time. I'm not gonna get the FOMO that I've been having for the past like few months. Um, Everyone's been describing it like when we did the episode with JY, he starts describing this whole thing, and I'm like, and then I go watch the videos, and I'm like, dang, dude, like I wish
Yeah.
I were there, you know. So
Yeah, and when you're there as a fan too, like, even as a player, I would watch the other teams compete, and you feel like you're part of the experience.
Hmm.
You're not just a bystander. The way that they set up the arena, you're really, like, in on the action. You're right there. You can stand literally next to the court, and you can hear the players talking, you can hear the coaches coaching. So, if you go there, you're definitely gonna have a good time.
Yeah. Could you tell more about the player experience? Just, how many matches a week were you playing? Like, how often were you practicing? Like, how much travel was involved? Just a little bit of that.
Yeah, I mean, season 1 was a little different, with just 3 teams, Tampa, Atlanta, and Jacksonville.
Hmm.
We were traveling back and forth. We were training as a team in our different cities, and then we would play at the end of the week, a couple matches on the weekend, and then we would also compete individually too. But, season 2 is gonna be a lot different. I mean, everybody's gonna be based in Atlanta full time. It's gonna be 10 teams, So we're looking at 80 players, which is a
Okay.
huge jump.
Yeah.
And
Big.
yeah, everybody's going to be based at different training centers with their team. So really building the community there. And then it's going to be more focused on the team events, with also something that I didn't mention was there's an outside team called the challenge team, which enables other players who aren't actually signed on with the league full time to compete against the pro teams.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, so anybody can sign up for the challenge
go,
event.
G.
Yeah. Yeah, this is our
Every
chance.
week. Yeah, so if you like Intense and you
Yeah.
want to give it a shot, you can join the challenge series.
That's pretty
You
cool.
can play through a draw, and I saw so many people who, even my teammates from Clemson, I said, "Hey guys, like you need to come to Atlanta," and they qualified for the challenge team, and
Wow.
they loved it. So
Oh, that's neat. That's
yeah,
a smart way to do it. Yeah, it kind of adds this like level of like mystique and intrigue. Like who are going to play? We don't know who we're going up against. We haven't seen them
Yeah,
play
like
yet.
that dark
Yeah.
horse, like
Yeah.
who's going to be I mean, America loves an underdog, so I think that's a
Yeah.
great way to spin up that story of the the challenger, the underdog in this league.
Yeah, they were the wild card team last year, and honestly, the challenge team sometimes outperformed the pro teams a lot because they weren't taking anything for granted. Like they had to get to know each other within a few hours, and they were just going to give it everything they had.
That's pretty cool. All right, and how are like teams? Obviously, you're doing this because you love the sport too, but obviously there's a component of it in terms of you're getting paid and all that. Like, are you incentivized based off of like team wins, and like the more you guys win, like you get bonuses or something like that, or is that how it works?
Yeah, for season 1, that's definitely how it worked. I know it's going to be similar in season 2. Definitely a little more focused on the team emphasis as a whole, whereas season 1, it was slightly more divided between men and women. But this time, it's really everybody all combined. And then I know that certain players, if they're performing to a very high level and you're the top performer in the league, then I think that's going to be a little bonus to be given there. But I mean, really, the focus is it's not on this particular player. It's
Mhm.
okay, this is the team as a whole. How do we
Yeah.
beat them? What are they
Right.
bringing?
I like that mindset. Yeah, it makes it more collegial, more fun. You're not like again, if you want to go individual and be on your own, like maybe you do the tour, right? And so it's kind of cool you're in this team based format and truly diving into that.
Yeah, I mean, you're still out there competing by yourself. I know that when I was out there, sometimes playing a bolt of singles by myself,
Yeah,
it could feel like the pressure was on you. But if things started turning around, hey, there's live substitutions in Intense. You can be subbed straight out. Somebody else can be subbed in literally after a point. It can be any time other than during the point. So you know that you
That'd be
have your
wild.
teammates right there next to you ready to come in.
yeah. Oh, I
Pretty
I
cool.
need that sub feature sometimes. I'm thinking about some some league
Yeah,
matches
we
where
just
I'm
tap
down
out.
down low
Yes.
40. Hey, can I call on that guy with the big serve to come in and just
Exactly.
give me back to
No
juice
pause.
real quick?
Sub me in for the whole first set.
Yeah, like come on back in.
I'll just come in for the tie break at the end when
Yeah,
the last four out.
exactly.
Oh
Yeah, it
god.
was cool. It was really cool. But yeah, sometimes people the coaches would be subbing people out and you could see them standing on the side, like racket in hand. I could feel that sometimes, you just you want to go in and then you kind of get thrown in there and you just have to figure it out. So
And like, you don't get like a warm up or anything, right? You just hop in, right?
yeah,
Right.
I know everyone's like dancing around on the side, the
Yeah.
heart's pumping, adrenaline's going, and you get in there and it's just noise and chaos. And I mean, it taught me so much, not only about my tennis, but about who I am as a person and what helps me perform at my best.
Yeah. That's cool.
That sounds insane now that I think about it. Like, yeah, the fact that like you're so accustomed to having like this like entire warm up. I mean, we just put up a video yesterday about an entire like mobility activation routine that I do. Takes about 10 minutes. Then you get on court, you do another like 10, 15 minutes of like, activation and warming up. And then you start actually hitting a ball, and then you warm up for like, let's say 20, 30 minutes. And then you can get into like actual match play. And so you're now stripping that and going, yeah, you got to be ready to, serve, return, and hit everything like off the rip.
Oh yeah, and
That
sometimes
sounds
the coaches would make the rookie error of subbing someone in, and they had to serve. So you could be
Mm,
standing there for 10
you're
minutes,
just tight.
and you got 1 sub, 1 toss. Your arm feels like a steel rod. Like you don't even sometimes you just
Right.
forget how to hit the ball. But I mean, with the adrenaline going, you're not really thinking much. You're just in the moment and you're playing, and I loved it.
That's cool.
That sounds awesome, but I would get so tight. That's yeah.
Yeah, I had a few heartbreakers across the season. You know, it came down to the final point.
Mm,
You know, there's money on the line, there's
yeah.
team result on the line, and
Right.
honestly, I think more times than not, I was the player who walked away being the one losing by 1 point. But I mean, every single week that
Yeah.
taught me a lot more, and it actually made me hungrier to come back,
For sure.
and it made me more motivated off the court too to just enjoy the experience. Telling myself, "Hey, it's not it's not just about the final whistle, you know, it's about what am I actually getting out of this experience." So,
Yeah. That's
in
really
hindsight, I'm grateful, even if in the moment I was gutted.
yeah, yeah. No, you gotta come back and bounce back from those. What's the one I know you talked about a lot of different changes that they make to the fan experience, player experience. Like what was kind of the one, I guess, rule change or tweak that they made that was probably like your least favorite or most controversial in your mind?
Yeah. Um, I feel like this honestly, the serve is probably the most controversial,
Mhm.
uh, just because people who are new to the league think that they can just pound serves and
Yeah.
it's gonna be effective, but sometimes you would see stretches where, okay, miss serve, miss return,
Yep.
or miss serve, okay, the other person serves, miss serve, you know, and it'll go back and forth. And then once the player's built the confidence, and something I've been working on is like my first, second serve.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that
Yeah.
3/4.
Yeah, it's like, let's get the serve in play and then figure it out, you know?
Yeah.
Don't worry too much about acing.
Yeah.
People would try and ace and go for 2 points off the serve, and I'm
Right.
like, "That's not me."
Yeah. Yeah, that seems tough. Especially like the one toss too. And for me at least, I don't
Oh,
know, maybe the rec players and just like I'm thinking being outside and obviously you're indoors, which probably helped a little bit, but like I definitely catch the toss a few times during a match. So
there was so many funny times where somebody would toss the ball up, and it would just be way off, and they're just doing some crazy gymnastics moves to try and jump inside
yeah.
the ball, and the replays were hysterical.
That's great. Yeah,
Can
you
you
remember
underarm
halfway
serve?
through.
What did you ask? Sorry?
Can you underarm serve?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can do anything. Although our
Mm.
coach Claudio was, very unhappy with the underarm serving for Team Jacksonville, so he sort of placed a ban on that. But I mean, yeah, people would run up to the line with 2 seconds to go, bunt in an underhand serve, and point's still on. I mean, if the timer runs out during the last point, you finish the point.
I mean, all I'm saying is like imagine I mean, that is something that would happen to me. Like you toss the ball, you realize, oh shoot, I can't catch it anymore. That
Mhm.
point is below your shoulder, and it's like, all right, screw it. I'm just gonna underhand it.
Yeah,
But
something else, about Intense too, it's not based on, the returner, it's literally server's pace. So if you're a server, you grab a ball from a ball kid, go to the other side. If your opponent is mad or they're not paying attention and they're standing on the wrong side, you could literally just bunt the ball in and you go 2-point ace.
Whoa.
So you literally have to be on it all the
That is
time.
extreme. Interesting. Yeah. Rafa
Mm.
would not survive well in those conditions.
There's no time to get frustrated. It's
Yeah. It's like you have your routine, your towel break. Yes.
yeah,
yeah, you're not walking to the
Carlos
you're
would
not
have
walking
something
to
to
the
say about
towel.
it too.
Yeah, yeah. That's when we get into it.
So obviously, we mentioned during the beginning of the episode that you got the Impact Player Award for season one. What led you to getting the award, and like, what does that mean to you?
Yeah, it meant a lot, to receive that award because I didn't even know that award existed. Everything was for the first time throughout the season, and looking back on the summer, I know that I just made a really conscious effort to get to know everybody in the league and really build connections, not only between players, coaches, fans, but also outside of the league. And looking into season 2, like I said, I've really been working on building these mental performance, mental health partnerships that's gonna help the athletes in the league thrive. And then also just doing a bunch of different stuff to help out throughout the summer. So in the moment, I didn't feel like I was really doing anything extra special, but looking back, I know how hard I worked over that couple month period, and walking away with the Impact Player Award was more special to me than being season champions or receiving MVP. Like, I look at that trophy on the mantelpiece and it makes me proud.
That's really cool. Yeah, that's be a rewarding feeling to your point. Just, first time doing a league like this, not knowing what to expect and coming out with an award, winning something. And obviously you mean a lot to your team. So congrats.
Thank you.
Do you think there's a downside to like playing team tennis, or do you miss like the pure individual accountability, or is that kind of just gone now?
It's pretty much gone now. I mean, I think when you're a junior, sometimes it's nice for it to fall upon you and you know that you have control of your outcome. But really, by the time you're done with college, I don't see a need for it to just be about yourself anymore, unless you're playing Grand Slams and you're one of the best players in the world. But even then, the players always talk about it. It takes a village really to support any player, and that's what I really like about Intense is that they're not just isolating the players and forcing them to figure it out by themselves, but like supported at all times by my teammates, coaches, the league, and even if I messed up for my team or my teammates, I guess messed up is a little harsh. There was ups and downs. I was never frustrated because we were just figuring out together, and that's really all that counted.
You got to give some grace to the fact that like you were all trying a whole different format of tennis, right? So I think there was some leeway on that where it's like, well, the first go around is going to be with its ups and downs.
Mhm.
Do you think the expectations are higher now for season 2? Like, do you think they're tightening everything up a little bit?
Yeah, I would say the expectations are higher, but I just think that the level and the production is gonna just be that much better because season 1 was really the inaugural season. Let's figure out what works, what doesn't.
Hmm.
So I'm really excited. And honestly, they adapted throughout the season too. They weren't just like, here you go, here's what we're gonna be doing. No, like, let's use this as a testing period. So I'm excited for season 2 to have the best of season 1 and then also find out how can we make this better, not just for season 2, but season 3, 4, 5, and
Yeah,
hopefully season 10 expanding across, not just in the US. So I really like see the future potential in the league.
for sure. That's awesome. I know you pointed to a couple of changes for season 2, more teams, more players. We've been reading about this draft process as well that they have for season 2. What can you share about that?
I mean, it's, less than 3 weeks now until the draft, and I know that they're working right now on going through the hundreds of player applications and figuring out not only who's the best player, but who do we wanna be part of this league. So, just waiting to find out who gets to go to the draft, and it's gonna be a free-for-all. I mean, I don't know what the order is for the coach picks, but the coaches get to pick and build their teams, and it's gonna be interesting for them too because they don't really have control like last season where they can pick players that they know. I mean, you're gonna have a team and then you're just who's gonna build the best team from day one, and it's gonna be interesting because even though on Team Jacksonville last year, I would say we didn't win the whole league, we were very close, but we had the best team chemistry, and I felt like we walked away from the league being successful because of that. So I'm really excited for the draft and also just to meet new people.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, what obviously each coach probably has a different philosophy on what a good team looks like, and to your point, maybe it's team chemistry, maybe it's I want the highest rated UTR player. I don't know. There's probably different ways to do it. So yeah,
Mhm.
that's kind of neat to kind of see how it all comes together for each team.
Yeah, I spoke to my coach from last season, Claudio Pistolesi, who is former top ATP player, and
Wow.
he works at the JTCC Academy here in Jacksonville, and I've been coaching for him, and he's been helping me train. And really, JTCC talks about building a community, and they're very big on player-coach relationships. So Claudio was always talking to us about that, and not about the final result, but the word that he used for our team was courage. So we would always talk about being courageous and just leaving it all out there, and that helped me a lot.
What's the you said that you've been preparing. What's it look like off season versus on season for you? It's a day like a
Mhm.
regular day in the life.
Yeah, I would say during the season, we're a lot more focused on playing points and doing different scenarios and working more on doubles when you're able to be with your teammates and practice that because doubles is such a big part of Intense, which I love. And then during the off season, I'm working a lot more on strength, fitness, getting lots of serve reps in without hurting my arm, and just getting that base training of different scenarios on the court, playing my patterns. So I've been working a lot on that, and I know that some players struggle training after they finish college because they don't feel like they have much structure and they're not able to be based in one place all the time because they're traveling. So it's been really nice to train in the same place and have that consistency. And I feel a lot better health wise for that, knowing when I'm competing in the year.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's like, okay, so you obviously the season's gonna start in June, so you kind of have a target,
Hmm.
and you can kind of treat it your off season, do your type of training, and you know when you go there, it's not going to be any of that. You're not you have to be ready to perform, but
Hmm.
you've built that confidence on the reps you in the work you've put in throughout the months. I've been seeing another player from season one, Ellie Schulson. We
Hmm.
go to the same gym, so I see Ellie like in the mornings just like grinding it out, and I'm like at some point, I was like, I didn't recognize her at first. So I was like, what is she training for? Because she was going hard. And
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah, it has to be
what?
higher intensity. I mean, it's shorter bouts.
Yeah.
So the training
So I
style is
was just
definitely
like,
different.
yeah, I just see her and be like, what is she training for? And then I think there was a special event that Intense did
Mhm.
somewhere in
Yeah, in
Florida
Port St.
at
Lucie.
Port St. Lucie.
Yeah, I was
And
away that weekend, but I know that they brought a whole bunch of new players in and the feedback was really, really positive, so
yeah, I saw a video and I was like, that's where I've seen her. And then like obviously reach out to her and all that and
Mhm.
find out, yeah, she's doing the off seasons.
That's a
Uh
coincidence, that's funny.
yeah, right. It's like I mean, there probably are more people in the gym that I don't know. That could be
Mhm.
part of Intense, who knows? But
Oh, yeah. It's funny training now because a lot of people that I'm training with, through JTCC in Florida, they are playing traditional tennis, so I'll still train that with them, but it honestly feels kinda boring now. Like,
Really?
I'm waiting for the
mm,
person to serve.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, we have to play
Yeah.
deuce back and forth."
Yeah.
So
Slow.
always I'm going up to people, "Hey, you wanna play Intense Ball against me today?" And they're like, "What's that?" I explain it to them, we play it, and they're like, "Oh,
Mm.
we're playing again."
Yeah. That is
it's
funny.
already happening.
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, keep the faster pace in between points because yeah, some people do just move just really slow, you know. But yeah, if you are used to that, I can imagine that's like feel like ages in between points or games.
Mhm, and especially, there's a big room for, this in the junior space too, because you think about the next generation of juniors now, maybe our attention spans are getting a little shorter,
Hmm.
the way that the world is
Oh,
changing, so I could really see juniors grabbing onto this and enjoying it,
Hmm.
not feeling so isolated out there by themselves, but getting to play with other kids and having that support, so that's something that I really wanna work on too.
yeah, that team component is huge. I mean, I've kind of have a upbringing similar to yours, Annabelle, where feel like I played a dozen sports growing up, and eventually, tennis became my one love. But I played a lot of soccer or football growing up, depending on where you are in the world.
Mhm. It's fine, I
And
say soccer now.
okay, good. Well, I did miss that. It was obviously I kind of for me it was like, all right, let's quit soccer because I got frustrated of the team experience and I wanted to have all the accountability on myself. That's why I ended up
Mhm,
falling for tennis. It is nice to have that team component, right? Especially with
mhm,
kids socializing, just being part of a group. Like that's just part of human nature. Having a
mhm.
social component I think it would be nice for the younger generation. yeah, I think attention spans are cooked. So
Yeah.
uh it's not a matter of like, do we want it to be like we kind of have to adapt the format, right,
hmm
to the new
Yeah, even
attention
working
span.
as a coach now, I see it in the players. They get so bored playing traditional tennis, and I know that my go-to is always, "Okay, let's teach the kids how to play intense." Even if it's not the one serve rule, I'll I'll adapt it and get them playing it. As soon as you tell junior boys that you get 2 points for hitting a winner, the level just goes up because they are not letting a single ball go past them.
Exactly.
That's great.
That's fun.
Yeah.
So thinking of like the younger generation, like what do you think Intense is such a great transition for college players specifically?
I mean, college players already know how to play on a team. They love the structure. They're pretty selfless, hopefully, by the end of the 4 or 5 years that they get to play in college most of the time. And really, they're coming off of a fresh college season where they're playing multiple matches, which is a great thing, but also I know from personal experience how much of a toll that can take on your body. And then stepping straight into playing on the Pro Tour for years round at a time with barely any break. I think it's gonna be a lot healthier for the players to finish that college season, have some time to recharge, and then go back into competing, feeling fresh, and not having to completely exhaust themselves every single day. So, it's definitely healthier for the body and the mind and just in general throughout the season, really.
Gee, I know you had something to say, and I think I went first.
Oh, you're good. You're good. No, I'm curious. Just as you're talking about season two and pairing and goals and all of that, as you think about season two, you're looking back on it after the year. What would a successful season look like in your mind? Like, what's top of mind for you in terms of what you want to achieve this year?
I would say my main goal for season 2 is to be confident and leave it all out there, which isn't a super measurable goal, but I know in myself when I've played and left it all out there and not doubted myself before a match. So really using the skills that I've learned through my master's degree, coaching, training, and walking out there and knowing that regardless of the score, you can turn it around. So that's definitely something that I want to go into season 2 with. And then another goal is to get to know everybody in the league because it's not just about the tennis.
Yeah.
I think about how many people I met in season 1 and the relationships that I built there. As somebody who, I mean, it's you can't play tennis forever, right? I want to play for several more years, but at the end of the day, these people that we meet, that's going to be our friend group potentially for the rest of our lives. Especially some of the girls that I got close with in season 1. It's nice to be able to connect with other college players who have a similar experience to you, even if you played against them. You can share your experiences and go through it together. So that's really a big goal is to just not treat people as opponents, but see them as just somebody in the same journey as you.
Yeah,
It's a really
it's
good
a
reminder.
professional. Yeah, it's a professional community, right? It's like,
Mhm,
I mean, you can think of it. I always make the association with G and I. We met playing tennis. We come from different cities. I moved here from Augusta, Georgia, home of the Masters, and tennis brought us together. We had, professionally, we have different careers, but tennis was like the one equalizer for us where we realized we're like minded individuals. We're both driven. G is definitely a little bit more social than I am, but, again, it's like it kind of became like our little professional community surrounded, I guess, enveloped around tennis
mhm.
and this is how spin the racket came about. So you never know what kind of projects you're going to connect on with people that you've played tennis with.
100%. And the league is it's great. It doesn't discriminate against players of different backgrounds, playing experiences.
Hmm.
It's really so inclusive if you're willing to bring it and be the best version of yourself for the league.
Hmm.
Whereas obviously on those traditional tours, you're pretty much capped as to who has the best coach, training facility, who can have this support year round. So
Mhm.
it's nice to know that people who might not have that opportunity to go and play slams or do things like that
Yeah,
still get this amazing career out of it.
for sure, for sure. No, that's pretty cool. I like the way you're looking at it too, as it's not just seeing everyone else as opponents, but you know, potential friends, potential connections that you can make. And I think sometimes some on the rec tennis side, I forget that at least. It's just kind of I'm meeting these people. I often will see the same folks because they play at like
Yeah.
skill levels. So you do run into the same
Mhm.
people over and over, but I kind of almost treat it like one-offs. I'm just like trying to
Mhm.
meet you and then go
Move
off
on.
on my Saturday.
You're
Yeah,
getting
like
destroyed. You're getting
I mean, don't get
destroyed.
me
Yeah.
wrong, when I'm in the arena and I'm gonna do whatever it takes to win.
right.
We're competitive, okay? Then once the final whistle blows, fine. Like, I'm gonna go back to being Annabelle, whereas
Right.
I'm like AB in the intense
Yeah.
arena, super intense. I always say intense. Like,
Yeah.
this is literally the perfect name for the league.
Yeah. But yeah, I gotta get better about
Yeah.
that though. Like, I don't know. Even I'll talk to Lou during the match. Like sometimes, like, we'll be chummy with like the opponent or something like that. I'm like, don't talk to them. Like, we gotta win. Like, I'm just like,
Don't give them an inch.
yeah. I was like, let's talk after. Like, we gotta focus. And, like,
Maybe you're lulling them into a false sense of security. You're
yeah,
playing
exactly.
Yeah,
Mind games.
G is just super nice. Like, it's I'm a little bit, I definitely a little bit more abrasive for sure. I think that's just how we are. But I would agree. I'm also pretty intense on court, for better
Mhm.
or worse sometimes.
It's the perfect word. And it's
But,
funny because everybody in intense keeps talking about things as everyone would interview us and say, "Hey, what do you find about this experience?" "Oh, it's so intense." "Oh, wait, I should probably say something." It's perfect.
I promise, no pun intended.
No pun intended. Well,
So
maybe intense will inspire you guys to build up camaraderie with your opponents.
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
you never know, right? It's like I always think back of a play with a team here in Atlanta that so Atlanta is kind of famous for having like their own league. I don't know if you're familiar with Alta.
Uh-huh.
Um, but Alta is like in my opinion takes over USTA specifically in Atlanta. Everyone plays Alta, and then if they want to play USTA, I'll play with a team where kind of like the same thing. That it's obviously as within the team, but it was a community where we actually I found out we had a team doctor. Like one of the guys that played in our team was a doctor, and so like if you ever had any issues, it was like, yeah, you just go see him. Like it's like, wait, we have like I was like, does this team like legit have a doctor? And they were like, well, no, like one of our guys is a doctor. So like I was like, wow, all right, that's legit. So you never know, right? I played
And then
against like a
the
lawyer
team
and
isn't
like
just who can have the best serve, forehand, and backhand. It's like, okay,
Right.
what skills are you bringing from off the court? And that was a big part of the intense interview process. Honestly, it's like,
Wow.
what are you going to bring to the league besides just being a number on a team? So I
Right.
actually love that about the team doc, and I
That's really
mean,
cool.
it's cool.
nice.
You can be like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
the team psychologist on the side,
That's
like, bring you
No,
in.
I mean, I was giving my team pep talks and was writing some articles about the league and my experience in terms of mental performance, which was, I mean, different from pretty much anything else I've experienced as an athlete.
Mhm. Jeez.
I'd like to do a research study in intense. So I did include intense in my thesis and found some interesting data. So I'll try and keep that going in season 2. Report
Yeah.
back to you guys.
Yeah. No, I'm sure
Nice.
I'll have a lot of interesting findings there.
You're gonna have a lot more data points in season 2 as well. So
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
a bigger pool. So
Yeah.
So obviously, we're very inspired by Intense. We're very inspired by by this new format. We also agree it's it's definitely looking like it's going to be the future of tennis. Things are coming up. You've got UTS that's adding a more entertainment focused format to the world of tennis. Um, how would you want to see, like, let's say, and this is not to put you on the spot, but how would you want to see Spin the Racket involved with like the new Intense season?
I think Spin the Racket should interview players almost similar to the way that the Intense broadcast doesn't just ask the traditional interview, "Oh, how do you feel now that you won?" You know, like, why do we even ask players these questions? Like, you guys seem to be digging deep and asking questions beyond just, "How do you feel?" or "What are your goals?" Like, let's actually find out the play-by-play, or find out, okay, what does a day in your life look like as a player, and who's your biggest rivalry? Just all kinds of different things that people wouldn't necessarily know as a viewer or fan. But once you find those things out as a fan, you can really start to root for certain players and build those relationships. I think you guys should do like a weekly check-in after pick out intense players after each week of the season and get them on the pod.
Ooh, that'd be
That's
cool.
yeah.
So
Or
let's
maybe you
break
can
these down.
maybe you can do your take on you can do like get the video up and do a live commentary,
Okay.
your take on it.
I like where you're going.
Good ideas. Yeah. Yeah. I figured, I'd ask you. It's like, well, it's, what would a player want to see from us, right? I think it's we're definitely asking ourselves those questions as the season is starting to ramp up and things are happening.
Mhm,
So stay tuned on what kind of format we end up coming up with. But I agree, making it a place where we get a little bit more um precise with the feedback, right? Where we get more in depth with the conversations, maybe a little bit more vulnerable, right? On we bring those walls down and talk about how did you feel in the moment? Uh, what thoughts were crossing your head, like your mind, like sometimes those are not pretty thoughts, but I
mhm,
always think about who could be listening or watching our videos. It could be a 10-year-old that's trying to make it in tennis that really loves the sport. It could be someone playing in college, maybe having a hard time, and
mhm,
they're not seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. So it's like, how could something like this give someone else perspective and tell them, hey, it's going to be okay. If this person, he's a professional, she's a professional, they are going through this moment, this is how they're handling it, you can handle it too.
mhm.
I think
Yeah,
from a
100%.
generational perspective, I think it's just a lot of inspiration there.
Definitely, and I mean, these partnerships we've been working on for season 2 is really just emphasizing not only, "Hey, how can we help players when they reach a crisis point?" You know, when they feel like they wanna quit, or they have a career-ending injury, or something happens with their family, like, how can we support them not just in the league, but throughout the year and as the years go on? So that's something that it's been cool to be a part of, and I'm excited to see it come to fruition.
Nice. You got a whole study going on here, sounds like. So we're very excited to find out what comes of it.
Yeah. No, I think the players are they're gonna love it, and I'm excited to see how things change, from season 1, and I think it's just gonna be a whole new ball game.
For sure.
Cool. We have some time, so I was thinking of running Annabelle through some quick hints right here. Um,
I'm in.
Do it.
One-word answers or
so yeah, the rules here are kind of it's kind of a gray area. I would say answer as quickly as you can, and then you can elaborate. I think it's we want to see off the rip what you think, and then after that, back up your answer, right? So some of them are going to be I think this is going to be more about you specifically, but I think you're going to like it. So let's start with number one. What is your earliest tennis memory that still makes you smile?
when I was playing my first mini red tournament, I was the only girl, and there was 9 guys, and I won the whole thing, and
Oh,
I
wow.
still have that team picture at the end. Felt like such a badass.
Yeah, that is hardcore.
You did not hesitate with that answer. That's awesome. Let's see. Number two, what is one habit you stole from a coach or teammate that still shows up in your game?
I would say jumping before I return. I feel like you're seeing me on the court. I'm always bouncing around. That's something that my college coaches talk to me a lot about. Sometimes you see me, I'm a little jumping bean out there, but it seems to help me prepare as a routine for the points.
That's great. If someone watched you play for 10 minutes, what would they misunderstand about your game?
They would probably think I'm an aggressive baseliner, but I usually have more fun when I'm a counterpuncher because I love fitness and running and intense points. So they would probably think that I just like slapping my forehand, but that's not always the case.
So yeah, you're a grinder, it sounds like too.
But yeah, even on the back end side.
Even on the back end. Yeah. So basically, anyone that goes against you it better be prepared for long points.
But yeah, like my goal is to be a brick wall and wear you out physically and mentally.
Nice. What is the biggest difference between how you train and how you compete?
I think when I'm training, I'm a lot more focused on being present and breathing and calm and intentional. Whereas when I compete, I'm literally just giving it every single thing that I have because I know that the way that I prepared is going to get me through the competition. So it's a case of thinking about what I'm doing when I'm training versus just being in the moment when I'm competing.
I feel like I need to follow that. You just gave me some wisdom right there. Cause yeah, I'm not an overthinker, but I think I forget who I told you this, but like tennis is the one sport that causes me to overthink.
But yeah,
Nowhere
mean,
else in my life am I like that, except for the dang sport that I love and hate at the same time. And sometimes,
yeah. I mean, there's days where you love it and you hate it, but if you just try and stay in the moment and enjoy what you're doing, it's going to be a lot more fun in the long run than if you're constantly beating yourself up about it.
what is a tennis belief you used to have that you have completely changed your mind on?
Good question. I mean, definitely that you need to be very straight faced and calm and always have good body language. I think especially female tennis players maybe demonized a bit for showing emotion and being reactive. And I think
We've talked
through
about that.
college and then also through Intense, it's actually really refreshing to see people's personalities shine and just fully let out the emotion, whether, I mean, hopefully more positive than negative. But I've been doing that a lot more and it's made tennis a much better experience for me.
Yeah. I relate to that. I'm definitely like an emotional player. Like I love like come ons and fist pumps and getting hype after points. And so yeah, I feel like you don't see it all the time in like positive ways on court. But yeah, it's good to see both men and women do it, period.
Yeah. I mean, no one really likes a tennis robot, let's be honest.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think you talked about that recently to me, G, about like how you used to be a lot more when in the juniors, right? You mentioned that you were a lot more like, "Come on, let's go," and a lot more dynamic. I
Mhm.
mean, we talked about it from a perspective that I think for us specifically, being recreational tennis players, having a 9 to 5, you almost have to bring yourself like to a medium level and kind of
Mhm.
grow a little bit numb to
Yep.
be able to absorb. I think psychologically absorb the losses that you can incur, let's say on a Saturday morning, and not let that ruin your entire weekend because then Monday hits and you have like work and all that. But at the same time, I think it also dampens your ability to extract from inside and then just pull through. Um, to a certain degree, right? Because I think we had some great battles this past fall where we went 3 sets deep. I mean, the emotions were definitely there, and somehow we pulled through. But I
Mhm.
think I look back to that first 3 setter that we played. It was like over 3 hours, and you looked at me and you said, "I am physically, emotionally, and mentally spent." And it was only, yeah, Annabelle. It was only like noon on a Saturday. I'm like, "What are we gonna
You
do
guys need
after
to
this?"
stop playing Intense, otherwise your weekend will be gone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Took a lot of
So
time.
But seriously though, going off that question, something that I looked back on the broadcast and saw myself doing a lot in those hard moments was literally just laughing at myself and smiling. And then you would see the next few points, I would play a lot better than if I was really tense and taking myself so seriously.
Yeah. Kinda take the edge off a little bit. Yeah.
yeah, gotta shrug some things off and not. I mean, I know the quintessential, play 1 point at a time, but um, it's
True.
still there for a reason.
Yeah.
Um, if you could change one rule in tennis or team tennis to make it more entertaining, what would it be?
Hmm. Um, I mean, I think Intense has already done that role, so I'm gonna steal it from them. But I just love the fact that fans are engaged and they're cheering, and also that you can have a coach on the court
Mm.
being and talking to you in between the points. Because I always find it strange when I watch the Pro Tour matches and the coaches are sitting so far away in this tiny box doing hand signals and whispering. Like, why can't they just
Yeah.
be there? They're not holding the racket. They're not playing for them. Why can't they just give the player some advice and let the player talk to them too? And I know that's something that people on the broadcast for Intense really enjoyed hearing what the coaches had to say to the players in between points, in timeouts. And you definitely heard it all. I mean, sometimes there were a few things that had to be filtered out, but they try to keep it all.
Oh, it's fun.
Yeah, stay tuned for that.
Last question. What is one thing you wish more recreational players understood about high level competition?
I wish that they understood that no matter what level you're playing at in tennis, it's the same for everybody and everyone goes through the same struggles, whether it be in matches, in training, planning, you name it. Sometimes people think that professional athletes are just on this pedestal and they don't go through any struggles, when in reality, they're going through exactly the same stuff, but maybe they're just competing in a different setting and level. So I think it's bridging that gap between recreational tennis and professional tennis because it's really just a slightly different journey that people have had.
Wow, that's incredible. That was
You
a great
handle
answer, especially like
yeah, you got good hands.
right
You
on
got
the,
good hands.
right on the spot there.
I've been working on that because the slice in season 1 was not it. So
Nice. A little bit of everything. So, Annabelle, now we're going to give you the floor for 1 minute. Where can people find you? What are you working on right now? What's coming up next? And any message you want to leave the Spin the Racket audience with?
I mean, people can find me. I'm sometimes on Instagram. I'm a little bit MIA sometimes. But Annabelle Thomas __ on Instagram. You can go to the Intense website and look back and find out more about season 1, read up about season 2. The draft is on March 13th in Fort Lauderdale. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be broadcast. Follow the socials, stay tuned. And I'm excited to keep collaborating with you guys, Spin the Racket. And I'll let you know when I'm in Atlanta for the league. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you for being part of the pod. Thanks for helping us make this episode happen. I think it's been a long time coming. We've been looking forward to it. With that, I'm Lou.
And I'm G. Keep on spinning.